Okay, today we're going to talk about different types of flowers. We're going to draw different types of flowers. The first flower we're going to focus on is the poppy flower. So you need a pencil, but I'm going to draw with a marker so that you can see the actual drawing. Again, this is Mrs. Hippolyte, and today's art assignment is going to be a variety of different flowers. Okay, the first thing we're going to draw on the paper lift it up so you can see it, is a stem. Okay. And we're going to repeat these across the paper. So you should start at the very bottom part of your paper. Okay. And we're going to change the size of these lines. Okay. And once we have that, we're going to move on. Remember, you can pause the video if you need some help. If you need to take more time. Above these flowers, I'm going to skip a space where my finger is, and we're going to draw a circle. Okay. From there, on the inside of the circles, we're going to add dots. It doesn't matter how many you put inside the circle, as long as you have enough to fit inside the circle. And these are our poppy flowers. And poppy flowers have little black dots on the inside of them. So that's what we're going to add next. So we're just going to make a curve. And if you're already using black, you can shade it in. If not, then you're just going to leave the tiny small curves blank. I'm putting about 4 on each circle. They're small little loops. Okay. From there, watch me first before you try. We're going to add larger loops. Okay. Now the problem is going to happen, don't do it yet, just watch, is when you begin, I'm going to use my pencil to do this so I can erase it. When you begin to draw the loops, because the flowers are very close together, you might begin to overlap and interrupt the flower that's already on the page, and we don't want that. What we want to do is we want to draw, try to make it dark so you can see it, the flower, skip the space, and start on the other side. So I'm going to get that a little darker so you can see it. Draw the flower, skip the space, and draw on the other side. So that way each flower has its own little personal space. Okay? And we're going to do that for every single flower across the page. And again, repeating. That's a vocabulary word in art. Repetition. Okay. Remember, these are poppy flowers. One artist you can Google or research is Georgia O'Keeffe. She did a very large painting of a poppy flower. It is red and orange, brown, with a green stem. Well, actually, you can't see the stem because Georgia O'Keeffe is very famous for painting very close-up pictures of flowers. So if she's someone that you're interested in, you can go and look her up. She's a female artist that was popular in the 1920s when women were not really allowed to become famous artists. But she went to college to study art anyway. And her artwork was sold in many places. Okay. We're going to go in and add straight lines to add detail to the texture of the center of the flower. Very small straight lines. Repeating this on every single flower. Okay. Now it's time to add some color. So what you want to do when you're adding color, because it's a poppy flower, you're going to start off with the color brown in the center for every single one. Then you're going to move to the next color, which is orange and red. This is what we call a value shift. Orange and red are both warm colors. They're in the same color family. And when you have a value shift, you start off with orange. We're only going to color just a little bit above the poppy flower. Okay? When we do that, we're going to start off with orange, then we're going to shift to red. And that is a good way to blend colors together. It's a value shift. Two colors that are in the same color family. That means they're close in color, but one is light and the other is dark. And what you want to do is if you make a little mistake like I did and you color outside the lines, you can just go back over it with your marker. Okay, and we're going to shade in these black spots that I told you about earlier. Then we're going to move to green for the stem. Poppy flower stems are a little bit thinner than this, but I made mine a little thick. It's all good. You're the artist. You can come up with your own ideas. And at the bottom, you're going to add the grass. When you're finished, excuse my noises, it's going to look a little something like this. Let me move my sketchbook around so you can see. And feel free to add your own little details like rain or sunshine or butterflies. Something that you think should go in the picture. Okay. The next flower we're going to draw is a sunflower. When you make a sunflower has a lot of texture in it. Oh, let me go back. My poppy flowers represent the state of California as well. So let me add that note in. Sunflowers represent the state of Kansas. And a famous artist that painted sunflower is Vincent van Gogh. If you are interested in some facts about him, his artwork is very famous in 1888 after he passed away. And you can Google him and learn more things about him. Okay. We're going to start off with a circle. Okay. Inside of the circle, we're going to crosshatch. That means you're going to draw diagonal lines in the circle. And then we're going to cross those lines to create texture inside of the circle. It doesn't matter how many lines, as long as you have enough to cover the circle. All right. When we move to the next step, we're going to draw tiny little X's around the sunflower. Okay, and when we're done with that, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a teardrop shape or a curve around those tiny little X's. I'm going to do that again slowly. Curve, stop, and bring it together. And you're just going to repeat this all the way around the circle. A sunflower can grow up to 8 feet tall. And they're called sunflowers basically because they follow the sun. So wherever the sun hits, that's where they will face. And this is the face of the sunflower. So you have spaces here in between the sunflower all the way around. And you're just going to add another layer of those same teardrop shapes. Remember, it doesn't have to look perfect. You're just doing your best. Okay, and if you want to keep going to make it bigger and bigger, you can, or you can stop right there. All right, we're going to add the stem. And the leaf, same teardrop shape. Draw a line in the middle and put little V's, letter V, all the way across. Now, to color this, it's very simple. You start off with the center brown, just like the last flower. Okay, value shift of yellow and orange. Try to use the lightest orange that's in your box. Yellow first, lightest color first. And I know that might be hard to see on the screen, but I am starting off with yellow at the bottom of every petal. See if I can turn on the light and make that a little brighter. Okay, and then we're going to finish it off with a little orange. Okay, we're gonna move to green. If you want to, you can do a value shift on the stem as well. Start off with a dark green, and then at the end here, make it light. Same thing here. Start this side off with the dark green, and then end with do another light. You can end it with another dark green. Okay, when you're done with the flower, feel free to add a background. That means add your details around the white spaces around the picture. Okay, the next flower we're going to draw is the iris. And if you have paint, you can paint the iris. Okay. The iris flower is the flower of, let me think, Tennessee. So we did Kansas, we did California, and now we're on Tennessee. The iris flower is also a flower made, painted by Vincent van Gogh. And so, if you want to paint this one, I'm going to show you, demonstrate how to do that. You're going to need some water, a paintbrush, any size that you feel comfortable with, and a set of paints. If I were you, I would start off with a pencil first. So the iris flower is a little weird looking. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with the letter D, but the D looks like it is taking a nap. Above that, we're going to draw a letter M. And then a hot dog. Bring this a little closer so you can see it. Okay. Sideways S. Sideways S. Bring this over to the D and stop. Over to the D and stop. Okay. Curve and stop. Again, curve and stop. It's very symmetrical. So whatever you do to one side, that's what you do to the other. We're going to bring the stem down, all the way down to the bottom of your paper. Okay. Go out in a curve, come back down. Repeating on the other side, out in a curve, and come back down. So this is what it'll look like. All right. All right. You have to paint, wet your paintbrush. Decide what color you're going to make your iris flower. I'm going to make mine purple. Iris flowers come in every color except for green and brown. So this part of the flower cannot be green or brown. When you're switching from one color to the next, make sure you use a tissue to clean off your brush. Now, if you really want to be advanced, what you can do is Google iris flowers, look at different pictures, and then you can study it and make it a little bit more detailed. Make sure there's enough water on your brush, but not too much. And then for the center, you want it to be yellow, the part that sticks out. Or you can make that purple and make it a extra petal. That's up to you. Again, the stem is green. Remember, not too much water. And stay inside your lines. Again, if you want to add different things in the background, feel free to do that. And there you go, your iris flower. You can add more petals if you want to, just like I told you with the sunflower, or you can leave it like it is. If you don't like this pencil line showing, what you can do is you can use washable crayons or oil pastels and go back in with the same color you painted with, and then you can go back in and add details. Maybe add another curved line so it looks more flower-like. Go back over those pencil lines. As soon as it dries, which mine dries pretty quickly, you can always go back in and go over where you did. Okay. All right. The last flower I'm going to demonstrate is for my younger students. It's a very simple flower. Let's see if we have room. Yes, we do. I'm going to demonstrate on the other side of my paper. Okay. For my younger students, all you need to do is grab your pencil, because you might make mistakes, and we're going to draw a rose, a very simple rose. And New York is the state that represents roses. So what you want to do is you want to start off with a curved line like this. Okay, I'm just making it a little darker. Kind of looks like the letter J. And then the tip of the J, you want to bring it in like this. And then the end of the J, what you want to do is you want to go around, kind of like a cinnamon roll. And then you want to keep going, stop, and then draw upside down letter U. Bring it in to connect, and then cross it down. Curve out, bring it inward on both sides. Triangle shape, stem, and leaf. Curve, stop, bring it back, stop, kind of like a football, line, letter V, letter V. Most roses are red, but you don't have to use that color. Because you're an artist, you can use whatever color you think is best. I'm going to make mine red. Then I'm going to shade mine in at the top. Remember, if you don't like those pencil lines showing, you can always go back with a marker and outline. Outline means you just go back over what you already drew. You can use the same color marker, or you can use black. Okay, and of course our stem is green. And those are all of our flowers. Let's review. So we have rose, we have sunflower, and feel free to use markers if you have them. We have poppies. And the iris flower. All right. Thank you.